Hi, I'm Mike Sauer, my wife Karen. We're with Red Willow Vineyards. It's located on the very western end of the Yakima Valley. We sell to quite a few different wineries. Probably some of the bigger ones would be Owen Rowe, Mark Ryan, DeLille, and several others, mostly over in the Puget Sound area, a few in Walla Walla and Willamette Valley region.
So you're actually the first person to grow Syrah commercially. Is that correct?
That's correct. Years ago, the emphasis was on varieties that would survive the winters, and then in the early 80s we were approached by a restaurateur over in the Juanita district near Seattle, and he wanted us to grow Nebbiolo, and a very well-known winemaker, David Lake for Columbia Winery, when he heard that we were trying Nebbiolo, he said, really, probably one of the great red wines of the world and one that would be suitable to Washington would be Syrah. So the very next year, through his help, we secured cuttings from California, and we set out the first Syrah in the state of Washington in 1986.
What were some of the first challenges that you faced trying out some of these new vines?
Well, we've tried so many new varieties over the years, but Syrah was just successful from day one. It grew well. It was very clean material. The wines turned out good, and Syrah is just so well suited for the state of Washington, and so many other wineries have tried it since then, and I think most vineyards and wineries that try it in the state of Washington have had good luck.
So, 30 years. It's been 30 years. What do you guys see for the future, the next 30 years?
Well, actually, it goes back even further than 30. We
41.
celebrated a 40th anniversary last year, so we go back even earlier than the time of the Yakima Valley. But I think it's just trying to improve on quality. We're growing grapes on just a higher quality level than we used to. Working with wineries, it often takes a winemaker years before they really understand the piece of ground and the vineyard that they're dealing with. So I guess just taking the quality up to a very higher level. We're not a big vineyard, we're very hands-on, so we want to do things the very best that we can.
But, if there's one thing that you don't think that the average wine drinker, wine consumer, Washington wine consumer gets about the Yakima AVA, and you'd like to let them know, what would that be?
It's over the years we've tried to describe the Yakima Valley. I was fortunate enough to visit some of the vineyards of France and Italy, and I guess I came away from visiting those regions and saying probably for me the Yakima Valley is the Burgundy of Washington. It's Burgundy is a region that's generally smaller vineyards, people of the soil, a little bit more agriculture oriented. And we see a lot of the Yakima Valley. It was one of the oldest regions of the state. It still deals with a lot of old vineyards, smaller parcels. They're not the large properties of several hundred acres going in at once. So that's the Yakima Valley. We're people of agriculture and people of the soil in particular.